Okay, I guess I just can't stop filming, so why not? There we go. Took care of that pretty handily. Yeah, that getting out of the parking lot. I took care of that. Like a professional. Like a pro. Don't hit me, man. Yeah, that guy couldn't see me because I was in his blind spot. I was so far out, away from the back of his rig, he couldn't see me. I certainly don't blame him for, you say I understand it. So I have got the candy bar. It's probably the mosquito friendly kind of candy bar I can come up with. It's an Almond Joy. It's kind of neat that we can see directly ahead and a tiny bit to the left. You might be able to make out snow-covered peaks. It's pushing the camera's resolution. Excuse me. But that's the snowy range in Wyoming. Those are probably 50 or 60 miles north of here. So it's a pretty clear day, really. I mean, the particulate in the air is low, other than water moisture, fog, vapor, water vapor. But we could be up there looking down here. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize we could actually look down into North Park. I should take a telescope up there. Well, if I had one. I got binoculars, they wouldn't do it. A telescope might, though. You might be able to see Walden from up on the lookout points. Maybe. Because there is somewhat of a valley between here and there where all these rivers congregate. And then they run, and they make up the North Platte River. All these creeks come together. A couple of them already have before Walden, but there are still a couple more creeks that will come together and cross the road and head over and be combined. The drainage is off over to our east or to our west, and it sort of goes to the northwest. The Platte River goes up that valley. If we go north of Calgary and we get to that spot where the road, you can turn northwest and go up through Saratoga or Encampment in that area, or you can turn east-ish, northeast, and go up to Laramie, which is where we're going. If you go the other way, that's where the Platte River Valley goes. It heads up that way. Out to our northwest, we're going north, roughly north, a little bit. We veered just a tiny, tiny bit west. Anyway, the Zirkle Mountains, which you've seen, they're over there, probably 20 miles to our west, and they run north-south also. But the northern part of those, I can look at that. That's an actual, a really, it was at one point a relatively productive gold-producing area. And I think they had some other things there, but it was mainly gold. I'd forgotten all about that. But they have there's an old mill out, or an old stamping, I think it was a stamp mill, whatever. There was an old gold processing, or ore processing, that'd be more accurate, buildings out there at one time. They could still be there. But there were several mines over in that area. And on the other side of the circles are a bunch of mines that, I mean, everywhere up here we get into them. There are one or two spots down here in this lower area, but it's mainly up in the mountains where there are mines. Mainly metallic, but the mine directly ahead of us was, I think it's a fluorite mine. We drive by it when we come up here. I drive by it all the time. When I pass the Y up here, where I could turn to Saratoga, instead I turn towards Laramie. That mine is just over to my left. It's over to the left. It's right now it's over to our right. Yeah, there's one little hill, probably all the way over to the right, a little hill sort of in the valley. That's the southern edge of that mine. And there are mines all over that hillside. Actually, on both sides of the road up there, the mountain range that starts up there. I think that that would probably be considered the Sierra Madre range, including the mountains we're looking at now. I think they would probably be part of that range. I believe. There are a lot of mines up in this area, though. I really like the location of this town. This town has certainly seen better days. Anyway, if we head out that way, the Independence Mountain, that's where we'll go into that gold area. I've been up there once or twice. I knew a little bit about it. I've forgotten what I've known. Yep. I'm debating on whether I want to show you I might, if I drag my feet just a little bit more, before getting up onto the hill up here. It might help a little bit temperature wise. I'll do that. I'll show you this area. Yeah, I'll get you close to it, but I won't take you all the way there because the road's pretty awful. There are sand dunes up here. There are a couple patches of them over to our east. And I am going to show you how to get there, but I won't take you all the way there. Fair enough? I assume by your silence that I'm making a video and not actually talking to someone. I mean, I am, but... This is an interesting little yard here. Gigantic pile of sawdust and a bunch of lumber. There used to be a railroad that came down through here that went up over to the mining. Actually went all the way up in, I think, to Centennial, Wyoming, which is pretty crazy. So this is a road, if you read the sign, that's going through private property. It's access to the public lands. Let me see. It's kind of hazy right now. Yeah. There's a light strip. You see the mountainside. There's a light strip just straight ahead of us. It's just a lighter area on that mountainside. Just a little thin band. About a third of the way up. That's the sand dune area. I want to call it the Great Sand Dunes, but that's not what it is. It is not the Great Sand Dunes. Wow, they got a lot of rain up here. This road looks like it's awful muddy. I might even turn around if this road is really nasty. Let's take a look. Look at that. I'll be darned. Well, let's do this. Yeah, we have some creatures on the road today, near the road. I'm doing this because I'm not a big fan of getting mud all over my car, getting it all under the undercarriage and so forth. But today there's a real good chance I'm going to be on some muddy roads anyway. But, oh boy. See, I want to stay off that stuff. I don't know if you could hear that, but that's that mud, that sloppy mud splashing up all over. Looks to me like it was just that section of road that probably had a little more clay in it than this one section does. Oh. This road looks pretty wet too. Well. El Rancho Starvo. Bunny rabbit. Certainly not raising any dust today like that. This is a neat little road because There's a hill over to our left, and we go around that hill usually on the highway, on the blacktop. This road goes around the other side of that hill and up a little valley. We'll turn and turn left up here, which will be north, here in a mile or two, and head up to a little valley on a road that is it's a county road, but it's a county road they don't take care of in the winter. They don't do winter maintenance on it. There's just not enough traffic on it. It's probably used mainly, people like me that like the back roads. The ranchers that own the property probably use that road all the time. Hunters, explorers will get on that road. But it's not really there's just not enough traffic to justify having some, guy take a maintainer out here and clean that road up in the winter. Eight 22, not bad. This will delay me about 5 or 10 minutes, not long. Now you may notice I didn't slow down for that here because I could see what was going on. There were no deer behind that deer. So if we continue straight on this road, we will end up at this great sand dunes, the little sand dunes up here. There's some really nice camping areas up here, and it's in a nice part of the country. It's just it's on the foothills of the very northernmost piece of the state forest range. But we're going away. But a few more miles up that road that takes you to the sand dunes. They're not really what I would call, I don't think that you can walk around them and it's like being out in the middle of a desert. Now the ones down in southern Colorado, the Great Sand Dune National Monument, I think they call that one is pretty impressive. This one's a lot smaller. It's still really neat. It seems like people like to take their toys up there, their side-by-sides and their motorcycles. That seems to be what people like to do up there. My little brother and his wife would go up there when they lived here. They live in Arizona now. Heard from him yesterday. They wished all of us up here and, wherever else a happy 4th. Because today is the 5th of July. I still have some coffee. Just a little bit of coffee. I've always been just a little bit suspicious of this area. It's got some real interesting geological stuff going on. And I've always been interested in looking for more information about it. And I've kept digging and digging and poking and prodding. And I finally hit the mother lode. Well, at least to this point, I hit a really good vein of information. It confirms my suspicions. I talked about it a little bit today. Who knows what? I'm not going to worry about it. If I've talked about it before and I, for some reason, run the videos concurrently, well, I'll just have talked about it a couple times. We'll get over it. Goodbye. There's a neat old cabin over here too. Yeah. I actually would like to explore this, but I think it's on private property. But let me just. Yeah, there you go. I hope this thing is. Okay. Yeah. No one coming. I'd like to go poke around there, but I don't really want to get on someone's private property, and I think that that's private property. So I've long suspected. Now these washboards that we are getting here, that's what the road going up to the sand is like. It's really bad washboards. It's a similar composition, sandy. I think this road, it just lends itself to washboards, because this piece is always a little bit bad. What have we got lying in the road here? I see why people are swerving around it. That's somebody's sewer hose off their RV. Apparently doused out here. Oh yeah, this is really, really nasty. I'll be up here. It'll get better. It'll also turn red. Yeah, I think we're in better shape now. So anyway, we're headed up towards the old fluorite mining district up here. There were several mines. There's a lot of patented property up here, and I've mentioned that before. But a patented property was a claim at one time that the people paid their dues on. I think you apply to get your claim patented, but if you pay your dues on your claim long enough, you can keep the land. It's your land. That probably doesn't happen anymore. I think the government has become way too greedy to do that. Well, and that probably, if people could do that, people would be claiming big chunks of the forest land, to patent so they could build a house. It would be. I can understand if they don't do that anymore, why they don't. But so this valley that we're looking at. Actually, yeah, that's true. We have to go over another hill. Yeah, but you have to go past this hill to get back up, to be on the road again, on the main road. I don't think I'm the first person to have been on this road today. This looks like, this could have been yesterday. Could have been. So I uncovered several mines up here, right by this road that I drive by all the time, that I'm on constantly. And I was suspicious. I suspected this again, like I said, and I was right. but I didn't know what there was. It just seemed like there some interesting geological things have to be happening up here. There's a road cut up here that we'll get to here shortly when we get back on the blacktop that I've always wanted to stop and just take a look at because there are interesting things happening in it. Anyway, I found a spot where there's a pegmatite. It was discovered in, I think, 1930. And for a couple years before World War II, it was a mine. I think it was 1942, 1943, or 1941, 1942. And it was a pegmatite. If you don't know what a pegmatite is a type of granite that is got really big coarse crystals. It's mineralized is what it is. And you can find all kinds of things in a pegmatite. This particular pegmatite, I don't think it has any metal in it. It's all gemstone stuff, Jimmy stuff, and mica. So it has, according to the source that I found, it has got beryl in it, quite a bit of beryl. I don't know if that's Jimmy or if that's massive. If it's massive, it's just beryllium. But I guess a lot of beryl was mined out, or beryllium was mined out of there. It has black tourmaline, which is a gemstone. The black is not the most preferred color of tourmaline. I've got some black tourmaline. Yeah, this is a little bit slippery. This is clay down here. That's why you hear it. That's why it looks the way it is, and why it's sticking to the bottom of my car right here. Yeah, clay does that. It's really sticky, nasty stuff. It also has garnet. A couple different colors were apparently found. Orange and red garnet. I'm not sure what the orange garnet would be, but the red garnet's probably, I'm going to put my four-wheel driving right here, probably almandine. Oh yeah, this is really bad right here. This is the kind of stuff that, well, if you go fast enough, it'll throw it everywhere. Really clay-ish. And I'll throw all this on the highway here pretty shortly. Yeah, largely throwing it everywhere. Yuck. All right, so there's an old loadout. That was the old train. It actually crossed the highway here. Go slow for a while. Just nothing. Get off my car. This may not be the last movie road I'm on. Okay. There we go. Nasty stuff. I really hate getting mud on my car, in my car. Regular mud, though, I don't mind that bad. I was on the Laramie River Road last week, and I filmed it, but I don't think I'm going to use it. I think I'll probably do another one, a different video. They were putting magnesium chloride on the road, And when they do that, it's a horrible mess, and that mud is despicable. And I got it all over the place. Very annoying. Okay, so this is a road cut I'm talking about. I drive around this road cut whenever I can see any of the rocks, and I want to stop and get out and look. I'm tempted to take a look because there's just interesting stuff going on there. There are a couple of little quartz veins, which is always neat to see. I don't see any pegmatite kind of material, but anyway, I'm suspicious of the countryside. And coming down the other side of this, going down into Woods Landing, you can look at the road cut. There's a lot of interesting rocks, interesting stuff on the road cuts there too. So that dirt road that you see over there on the left, I'm sorry, on my other right, that's the old train track that was here. There's still a lot of old infrastructure built there, and there's a lot of just interesting stuff laying around here, like big piles of wood I'm looking at. You might have got a glimpse of that. But they really put a lot of work into this railroad. And the railroad up here in a mile or two, it Y's off. It will go up, continue going north. The road sort of goes over to the east. And a part of the railroad will continue with the highway. Well, and actually it crosses crosses the highway. And you can see some of the old infrastructure, some old concrete, probably some kind of a signal. Here we go, right here. So it crosses right here, the railroad, and there's some concrete. There must have been like a turnstile or something over there, but the railroad is over there, the railroad track. But it's also still down in the valley here. And it goes up and it will go on to Centennial. But so this was a big concern back in the day. Back in the day being in the late 1880 to 1900, roughly that area. A lot of history here. A lot more going on here 100 years ago than there is today. A lot of mining. I mean, this place was probably very cool. That probably had quite a few more people. Obviously had a lot more people living in it. There's just all kinds of, you can look at all the hints around here. Dirt work that happened, piles of trees, old lean-tos. What have we got there? Oh, okay. That looked like where a truck went off the road and dumped its load. Must have been like an open trailer. So we're about ready, I think, to get into Wyoming. Yeah, the trailhead, Hilton Creek. So there's evidence, and I mean, I would like to talk to someone that really knew the area well. I think it would be real interesting. That, by the way, I think is Wyoming. Yes, doing that. So we are 136 and a half. So I'm looking for 141 and a half. So 5 miles from here, roughly, there's a Forest Service Road 544 I want to turn on. It's probably going to be muddy and bad. I may not even go down it. But I at least want to locate it. Because that pegmatite that I'm talking about is down that road. And if the road isn't completely impassable, if the road's muddy, I'm not going to mess with it. Yeah, well, so 141. Yeah, 141 and a half. Got it, 141 and a half. Remember that number. That's my trip meter. I'm 137 miles today. 141 and a half. This is a little community up here called Mountain Home. I'm just going to assume that these communities were here probably from back in the day when there was mining going on, and that these are the remnants of all that. The mining is pretty much stopped up here. There are probably still people that go look, because it's fun to do that. And probably a lot of this land could have been a patented claim from way back when. I don't really know that to be for sure, but it could be. So Three miles. Give or take a quarter of a mile. I'm going to pass this vehicle, and I'm going to stop here at 3 miles. So I'll slow down. That's the vehicle I'm talking about. I don't really need to pass a vehicle to stop. So this pegmatite is claimed to contain, and it's been looked at by back in the Mine Bureau, it was looked at. So it's been somewhat verified. They actually consider it to be pretty good information. $39.8. Yeah. This guy's probably wondering why I'm not passing him. $140. This probably isn't my road. No, I don't think so. Doesn't look right. Need to be a mile further. Can it be this road? Valley Road. Okay, we're getting close. Tips parking, interesting. So I don't think it's that road. We're 140. Yeah, we're still a ways. We're still about half a mile to go. But I did see Valley Road, so I have spotted that. And the road looked good on Google Earth. It didn't look like a bad road. Other than when you get into it, it looks like it's just a big pond. And today's not going to be an exception. No, not that road. This is probably the road right here, if that is the turn. 133. Yeah, I'll bet this is my road right here. Road closed. Yeah, this is my road. Let me see if I can move that. I don't have any. I don't have any cutting tool. I usually carry a saw. Well, I carry that in my other car. But this looks like this must have blown over recently. Yeah. Okay. So this is my road. Need to go up. If I can make it 1.25 miles, that's 142 3/4. Put the 4-wheel drive in. Yeah, it pays to carry a saw. I have a saw and a hatchet. Actually, I probably do have the hatchet here. It seems like I've got the hatchet with me, but not the saw. But I think probably what's going to stop me will be the weather. Okay, that looks, yeah, like this is my road. That looks right. $142. I got a mile to go. If I can make it. So a mile from here, 143.38. I saw some shiny rock. That means something. There's apparently a lot of mica out here too. If I can find the spot. Looks like 544B. Now my it looks to me like my GPS is helping me out here, guys. So yeah, 143.38. It's an interesting thought that I wasn't counting on this area being burnt. I was counting on this area being very thick wooded. And on Google Earth, that's what it looks like. It doesn't look burnt, I don't think. I'll find out when we get up here a little further. Point being is that if it's been burnt, it actually might be, easier to see some of the ground features that might have been covered up, from, since the last time it was burnt. Because if it's all really thick like this, well, you're not going to see much. And there's some interesting rocks over there. We're getting close to the area. I think this is the bend here. And there's a pit. I believe I spotted a pit that they talked about. People had brought heavy equipment in here and had just dug a pit into the pegmatite, and from what I saw, there was definitely a pit. Well, it looked like a pit, or it looked like a swimming pool. And so today, it's certainly going to be a swimming pool. If it's there, if we find it. But if we find it, it will be over on the right side. That'll be pretty cool. And you'll probably have to ride in the car. Have to sit in the car while I go look. But that's definitely been burnt. 143. So I have a little further to go. About 3/10 of a mile, I think. Puts me in the area. This certainly looks right. All these puddles. Well, the picture was taken in the spring. There's a nice chunk of interesting looking rock. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, now we're getting into some rocky stuff right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not only rocky, but crystal-y looking stuff. So that's good to see. Something to poke around on in. Well, this is making sense to me, these big rocks that we're seeing. Not that I expected to see them, because I didn't. But I would expect rocks to be in an area. I mean, this was found by somebody, and there had to be a rock outcrop for them to find it. So, oh yeah, check it out. Yeah, this cabin is actually, I think, this could be where the pit is. How cool is that? But let me, before I get carried away, this may be where I want to stop. Yeah, this might be, but let me run down to my noted area. Oh yeah, look at this. Another cabin. Now I saw one cabin, I think further down, and I saw something that looked like it could have been a cabin. I think that's what we just passed. I didn't see this one. Look at that. But I think I saw that one. Is that cool or what? Well, I guess you probably didn't see the whole thing. So it looks to me like we are here in the area. I want to, yeah, this is telling me we're right. Oh yeah, we got some people down here camping. A couple different groups, it looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back up. So these people are definitely gem hunters. They could have a claim here. I mean, I haven't seen any claim. Any claim stakes or posts or anything, but that doesn't mean they're not here. Well, those are really neat. Come back and take a look here. You know, I'm tempted to take the camera and just do a quick walk through. But maybe not today. Maybe I'll do that later. I really just need to get a feel for the area, see what there might be here. Just get a feel for the place and then call it good, because I don't have a lot of time. All right, I'm going to get out and check the area out, so I'll get back with you. So the mosquitoes, 9:48. I was there for about half an hour solid, but that doesn't matter. I'll figure it out later, as soon as I'm doing right. The mosquitoes, well, were by far the worst creatures out here. I did find it. I actually did. I think the actual pit is right up there. But I saw a pit right off the side of the road to the left. Maybe now I can get a feel for it. Maybe not. I don't see any claims up here. There are people up here. None that are on record. Well, there could be a claim up here. I am seeing. There are some, I wouldn't call that a claim. That's actually not a valid claim marker. A red flag or a pink bow. There needs to be an actual mark. This is a corner of lot claim or blah, blah, blah. Unless the laws have changed. But I can also double check. If for some reason I want to come back here, it's not something that I would want to do until it dried out in the fall. I think that would make the mosquitoes a little bit less, well, populous, because they are. are getting it. Yeah, just look here. Yeah, see, I don't think that that's a claim. I think that that's a location marker for someone, but I don't think it's a claim. There would be no point in having a claim out here. Unless it's for trees. You know, there have been some trees cut down here. And really, the thing that is probably more valuable than anything else out here would be the trees. And there's a lot of standing dead that probably should get cut down. So, anyway. It was interesting. I've got probably 40 pounds of a sample. Maybe 30 pounds, maybe not that much. I just picked a few, you know, representative pieces. There are some really nice pieces of mica in here, so I was definitely on the pegmatite. But I really, it was mentioned in the write-up about it that the overburden, the soil on top of the pegmatite makes it kind of tough to figure out where the vein is and where the hanging wall is and all that. You know, where the zone is. I certainly had a hell of a time. I couldn't find that. But then again, I'm not trying to survey the site. I'm just taking a look. I just wanted to get my eyes on it, kind of see where it went. Maybe we have some more. I think that's Forest Service stuff. But I could be wrong. You know, it could be something. There could have been a thing here over the 4th. Because there were campers there. There were campers there, but no vehicles. That was interesting to me. Where are the campers? Are they in Laramie or Colorado? Are they someone shoot them and take their vehicles? I hope not. And it also makes me wonder about this dead tree up here that was in the road. That was actually really easy to move if you didn't notice. I thought it was going to be really tough, like levered in where I couldn't move it. I think somebody did that on purpose to see if people have been up here. Quite honestly, that's what I think. And I, for one, intend on leaving it where it's at. So whoever put it there, if they did, which I think is a possibility, a pretty good possibility, actually. Then they can be all paranoid about who was up there. If they did it, they are probably paranoid to begin with. All right, y'all. Well, I think I'm gonna open my rear windows for a mile or two, because there are still probably 50 mosquitoes in here